Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Wednesdays with the Money Savvy Sisters. I'm Genelva, and these are my co-hosts, Meica and Jaylene. And again, we are the Money Savvy Sisters, and you can watch us live on JessTV, via Roku TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, NCG Television Network, Twitter Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and YouTube Live. And then that's on the JessTV pages and on JessFM pages. Or you can watch us 24/7 on www.jessfm.ca. Please like our JessTV page and invite your friends to do so too. We're going to share our Instagrams here. My handle is Genelva Gibbs, so that's GENELVA GIBBS.
And mine's Meica Miller, MEICAMILLER.
And mine is Jaylene_Ferreira 17, JAYLENE_FERREIRA 17.
Awesome. So today we're talking about kids and what you can set up for them and how to get, and we're going to start with the RESPs.
Yes. Okay. The basics of RESPs. So an RESP, which probably most parents are familiar with, but if you haven't heard of it, it is a government-registered savings plan, specifically designed for a child's post-secondary education expenses. So parents or other contributors can deposit funds into the account, which then grow tax-free until withdrawn.
Awesome. So contributions are not tax deductible. However, the earnings in the RESP are not taxed until the money is withdrawn. And this means the income generated by investments can grow without immediate tax implication, minimizing or maximizing the potential savings.
Yes. Now, when it comes time for withdrawals, funds are taxed in the child's hands. So, which usually means little to no tax if the child has a low income while studying.
Yes. Now, there is government grants and matching programs with an RESP, which is honestly typically why parents will use it, is because of the matching. Now, there's two types of things that can happen with matching. The Canada Education Savings Grant, CESG, if you're familiar with the acronym. It provides a 20% match on contributions up to $500 a year and a lifetime maximum of $7,200 per child. So this grant is available to every child with an RESP, and contributions don't need to be made all at once.
Which is great. Another tool that you can use is the Canadian Learning Bond, CLB, and it's aimed for lower income families, contributing up to $2,000 over time, even if the family does not, the government contributes $20,000 over time, even if the family doesn't contribute their own money. It's an easy $20,000.
Yeah.
Or $2,000.
For families with multiple children, the grants can be also pooled into a family RESP. So this is allowing unused benefits to be applied towards the education for other children in the family.
Yes, we love that. Now let's talk about maximizing our RESP contributions. Now, starting early allows parents to take advantage of compound growth, giving contributions more time to generate returns and grants to accumulate. So the younger you start, the better for your RESP benefits.
Absolutely. And then consistency is also key. So even modest deposits of $25 or $50 per month can grow significantly over time, especially when the government is matching.
So set a contribution strategy, and that considers your personal cash flow and the available government grants. So maximizing the annual matching and achieving significant growth by the time the child reaches college or university.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
moving on to another topic here, just to give you guys some light on the RESP. We're going to talk about it versus a TFSA for a second. So our ESPs are specifically for education savings, strictly for education savings, but parents can actually consider using a TFSA for other long-term savings goals once your child turns 18.
Yeah, they got to be 18. And so a TFSA allows her after tax contributions and tax-free withdrawals for any purpose. So you put money in, it doesn't get taxed when it comes out. It also grows in there tax-free, making them excellent tools for helping the youth, adults, build wealth after high school. I can't talk today, guys.
Teaching our kids financial responsibility early is very, very important. So once they turn 18, they can start to contribute to a TFSA, building habits of savings and investing tax-free for their future plans.
And teaching them early is an awesome tool, you know? Now we're going to talk a little bit about the power of compound. So compound interest is the key driver for long-term growth. The earlier the parents start saving in a RESP or other investment accounts, the more potential they have for a lot of growth.
Yes. And so to give you guys an example of that, let's just say, kids typically, let's think about it, 0 years old to 18, let's say 20 years just to round up. If we had someone saving $100 a month for their kid over the next 20 years, and let's say their interest is averaging 4% a year, they're going to end up having $36,384 in those 20 years. But let's say that same $100, same 20 years, but let's say that it's working at 8% rate of return instead of 4, they'll have about $56,899 in those 20 years. So small contributions can definitely be growing significantly for you. And obviously, compound interest is super important, but the only way that you benefit from compound interest is if your interest rate is working for you and obviously at a higher rate rather than that 1 to 4% window. So just to note here, if you're looking for that higher interest, whether it's on your kids' RESPs, whether it's on your own TFSAs if you're listening in, whether it's on your own RRSPs, reach out to us because we can show you how to get interest rates for 8, 10, 12% or even higher, okay?
Absolutely. That makes a huge difference, as you can see from that example. So that's super important. And with enough time, and contributions, think about that growth, right? Jamaica just showed you how much of a difference that makes. And this makes a big difference when it comes to our children's future and even our futures as well. So whether it is for educational funding or starting towards buying their first house or saving for retirement, it's really important to make sure you take that into consideration.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about long-term benefits of early financial planning. Now, financial habits and knowledge established early in life often stick, making it important to involve children in understanding their savings. So, you hear that saying, monkey see, monkey do. If you start early and you're very adamant about saving and that just becomes a habit for you and routine, imagine what your kids are going to experience and by watching you, and they're going to want to do the same thing. When they grow up and they start having chores around the house and you give them allowance, they're going to be like, I want to save and put some away like mom and dad did. Like that's just habit. So instilling that in your kids from a young age is going to have a huge impact on how they are with money in the future.
Absolutely. And not only should you lead by example, but you should also be teaching them the purpose of an RESP and how to manage the withdrawals or for future savings, giving them great tools that they can use in the future to make sure that they're on the right path and understanding the tools that they have around them, understanding money in general, because it's never too early to teach your kids about how the money game works.
Yes. Early financial planning really gives kids a valuable start on life's expenses. So equipping them to enter adulthood with a foundation of financial literacy is so, so important. And, potentially they can get into some wealth pretty early if they start up really young.
I love that. Okay, I feel like we started a little early today. So is our break 8:25?
We started at 8:15, so it's to be 8:30.
Okay, it'll still be 8:30.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Let's continue on. We're going to talk a little bit about the role of insurance in protecting your child's financial future. So, most parents, like I already mentioned, are very familiar with the RESP, but a lot of people, believe it or not, have never heard of a child tax shelter or insurance for your kids, which is crazy to me because this tool is so freaking powerful. Okay, so life insurance for your children is typically whole or universal life insurance, and it builds up a cash value over time. So parents can secure low premiums by starting coverage very, very early for your babies.
Absolutely. And policies that are taken out when a child is young guarantees their insurability, which is helpful when they develop a health condition later on that might otherwise otherwise prevent them from having some coverage. It's great to get ahead.
Absolutely. And also having this protection is really great because if something ever were to happen to your child, not that we ever really want to think about that, but unfortunately we do know that these things do happen. In the event that your child was to pass away, this would allow you to take time off, grieve, and not worry financially because that's very hard to go through and we don't want finances to be on your mind. Typically, we recommend anywhere between 50,000 to 250,000 in coverage, depending on what meets the parents' needs.
Yes. And second, why you might consider insurance on your child is your child's policy can be used for savings for their future. Just like you would save in an RESP for them, you can save tax-free inside of the insurance tax shelter for them. And the great thing about it is you can use it for their schooling. The biggest difference between, the insurance tax shelter and the RESP is it's more flexible. So if they choose not to go to school, you can use the money to help them buy their first house, graduation trip, maybe they want to start a business. Whatever they want to do with the money, they can do. So it's not locked into, okay, my kid has to go to school to use this money, or else if they don't, we lose all the government matching and I'm going to get penalized for taking it back out. None of that happens with a child tax shelter. They can use it literally for anything they put their mind to, which is pretty cool. And if your child ends up being a brat, you can keep the money for yourself, parents. So keep that in mind.
It's a win-win. Okay, and so like we were saying, this is a great opportunity for your child to have the best coverage as soon as possible. And then plus there's that tax-free investment option. And if something were to happen and they become uninsurable, like we said, they would be able to take over this policy as the owner and still be insured, still taken care of, still having the financial security that they need.
Amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more on the building cash value in a permanent life insurance option. So, as I mentioned, whole and universal life insurance policies can accumulate cash value over time, accessible to the child in adulthood as a source of tax-free funds, like we just mentioned earlier. Like Nelva said, you can transfer it to them when they are adults. They can then use that investment fund for themselves. But obviously, as they're still under 18, parents, you can use that investment account towards anything they might need, like a grad trip, like we mentioned.
Absolutely. And the policy can serve as an additional long-term asset for the kid. So potentially acting as collateral for financial futures if they were wanting to buy a home or more education, whatever the case may be.
Yes. So policies with cash values offer flexible financial support. Like we said, you can use it for many different things. There's not really that restriction with the RESP. And also you have amazing protection in place as well. So it's just a win-win all around. And that's why we love talking about it.
Absolutely. And in terms of like long-term financial protection, life insurance creates a foundational layer of financial protection, ensuring the children and your families have support in case of tragedy. Like we just mentioned, no one wants to think about losing their kids, guys, but things do happen. Things can happen.
Absolutely.
I know a lady who she had twins and she lost one of them when they were between the age of 0 and 10. And like no one expects that to happen. And she did have insurance on her kids. And she's saying that payout that paid her out was like God sent for their family because once again, no one wants to think about that. But if you ever are in that situation, just think about how you can literally take your time to grieve and not just get a week off work for bereavement. It's like, you need to be back at the office next week. Like, we understand your kid died, but you need to be coming back into work. Like, imagine that situation. Some people need a year or 2 years to actually cope and actually be able to go back into that environment, So just keep that in mind.
Absolutely. You know what's crazy? You said a week for like bereavement, and some companies only give you like 3 days before they're like, that's it. That's all you get, which is wild.
I can't even imagine.
It's wild. Yeah. And for families with children with special needs, certain policies can be structured to provide funds for long-term care. So talk to your advisor, make sure you're understanding all of your options so that you can be equipped for whatever you come across.
Yeah, it's very important to balancing coverage types to align with your goals and your family's goals and overall financial plans. So ensuring protection and this gives you like the flexibility throughout the child's life, that you know that you have protection when they're really young, they're going to have that in the future, and then you're also protecting yourself. So it's just a win-win situation. But we are going to take a moment here to do an intro. So my name is Jaylene, and these are my co-hosts, Meica and Genelva. We are the Money Savvy Sisters. You can watch us live on JessTV, via Roku TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, NCG Television Network, Twitter Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, and on JessTV and JessFM pages. Or watch us 24/7 on www.justfm.ca. Please like JessTV pages and invite your friends to like it too. We are going to share our Instagrams. If you guys would like any more information on this amazing education that we share, please reach out to any of us. Our services are free. I will start. My Instagram is Jaylene_Ferreira17. JAYLENE_FERREIRA17.
And mine is Meica Miller, MEICAMILLER.
And mine is Genelva Gibbs, GENELVAGIBBSS.
Yes. Okay. So we've talked about RESPs. We've talked about child tax shelters. Now we're going to talk a little bit about critical illness insurance for your children. Now, if you haven't heard about this, do not be surprised. The stats last time I checked were only 8% of Canadians had a critical illness policy. So this is very unknown, which is very sad because it's an amazing coverage, especially for your kiddos. But what is critical illness insurance for kids? So critical illness insurance for your children provides a lump sum payment, tax-free, if your child was to be diagnosed with a serious condition covered by the policy. This could be cancer, this could be major organ failure or severe heart conditions. I've heard a lot of kids with heart disease. This could be, I think it's pronounced cystic fibrosis, if I'm saying that right. That is very common for in your adolescent years to get. So these conditions can just pop up no matter what age, between 0 and 18. And the parent can get a payout and be able to actually be there for your kid, obviously, right? So that is what critical illness insurance is on your children.
And that kind of coverage can help families manage the high costs associated with medical treatments or rehabilitation, and sometimes even having to go out of the country to get specialized treatments because we don't offer it here in Canada. It's a really great tool.
Yes. Parents can decide on how much they want to use for the benefit, what they want to use it for. So whether that's treatment, family expenses, taking time off work, or any other needs, providing both financial flexibility and peace of mind during a challenging time.
Absolutely. And obviously coverage for severe illnesses, right? Most policies cover a range of critical illness that affect children. Like I said, like cancer, neurological disorders, congenital heart disease. I know a gal who has been dealing with that her whole life, and she's in her early 20s. But when she heard the information, she's like, wow, so my parents could have had this type of insurance and we would have got paid out so they could spend more time with me, so that they could come to my doctor's appointments. But, parents are sitting there sacrificing can't come into work, like my kid's sick, I got to go to the hospital with them, and they're risking losing that job because employers just do not care. They cannot give you too much time to be like, go deal with your personal issues. So,
which is crazy. Some policies even support for treatments, even include support for treatments for recovery needs, while others cover disabilities resulting from the illness, ensuring that you have resources for a long-term support.
Yeah, so each policy is different. So, such as waiting periods, specific coverages. So, parents, it's really important to sit down with a financial professional, learn the ins and outs of it, and make sure that you choose the right coverage for you.
absolutely. And yeah, like Jaylene was saying, specific conditions, like you might have some policies that cover like only 4 illnesses. You might have some that cover 25, 26. So definitely like keep in mind that not all of them are the same. Now, benefits beyond the financial. Now, beyond covering, of course, medical expenses, critical illness can also reduce family stress by alleviating the financial pressure to work while caring for an ill child, like we just mentioned. It basically can replace your income if your child ends up sick. Okay, so last week, if you guys tuned in, we talked about personal protection for yourself and protecting your own income. So if you got sick, you get that payout and you can deal with all the financial pressure that you might have. But now we're thinking of you take care of a little human being. If they get sick, you also need to replace your income so you can focus on them and give them the care that they need as well.
Absolutely. Those funds can also be used for secondary expenses, such as accommodations or travel costs if treatment is far from home.
Also, let's just talk about mental relief. Like the mental relief that you have getting these kinds of payouts is really important. It's very stressful financially, emotionally is a big thing as well. So having this flexibility to be with your child during an illness is often most significant to benefit for the family and giving them the time and focus on what matters most to you and your family. I just also wanted to mention there's lots of benefits of having a critical illness. Like we said, you can pass it on to your children later on, but you can also set this up for return of premium for some options, which means that if you never end up using it, you can get your money that you put back into it. So there's absolutely no downside to getting a critical illness policy.
Amazing, isn't it? Right? Like if I'm protecting my kid and nothing happens, I can get all my money back, or they can get all the money back that mom or dad started for them when they were younger, when they're an adult. So such powerful, powerful strategies that people could be using for their kids and setting them up for success. We're going to play a little game. Go ahead, Nova.
I was just going to say it's nice because like in contrast to like other types of insurance, like car insurance, you know, where you pay into it. And then if you get into an accident, they just up the charge, you know what I mean? And you get none of the money back. Yeah. This is like, oh, okay, I'm taking care of my family. I'm protecting my family. And I'm also getting my money back if nothing happens. It is a cool tool.
Also, I feel like lots of people aren't educated on this stuff. Like Jamaica is saying only 8% of Canadians have this. Most people don't have this. Most parents don't know about this. And that's why we want to shine light on this and bring awareness to this. Because if every single person had this set up, imagine how different it would be for lots of people. But just people just don't know about it. So if you know someone that this could benefit, please send them this episode or please reach out to us and we'd love to share more information with you guys.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to play a nice little game again. Myth versus fact.
I forgot we were playing a game. I got to get my paper ready.
We're gonna kind of split it into categories for you guys. We're going to talk about the RESPs that we started. We're going to talk about the child tax shelter, life insurance, insurance tax shelter, whatever you want to call it. They're all the same thing. We're going to split it into the critical illness, and so that you guys fully have a chance of guessing based on the information we went through. So we want to see your answers in the comments if you want to play along, or obviously just keep track of how many did you get right. We want to know. So to start off, we're going to start off with the category RESPs. These are our Registered Education Savings Plans. Okay, the first one, myth or fact? Only parents can open an RESP for a child. Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Myth. Anyone, including grandparents or friends, can open an RESP for a child. Crazy.
Yes. If a child does not go to college, all RESP money is lost. Is that a myth or a fact? 3, 2, 1. It's a myth. Contributions can be returned and unused funds can be transferred to a sibling.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. A myth or a fact? You need a lot of money to start an RESP. What do you guys think? 3, 2, 1. Myth. Even small contributions grow over time, and the benefit that the government grants add to it. Start even if you feel like you're not ready.
We love free money.
We love free money. Take advantage while you can, guys. RESP withdrawals can only be used for tuition. Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Myth. Withdrawals can cover expenses like books or housing or living costs that come along with them going to post-secondary education. So it's not just the tuition itself for the college or university, but it's also the expenses surrounding going to college, going to post-secondary. So don't get that.
Good.
Yeah,
I think that's so nice because like those things are important too. Like you can go to school, but how are you gonna get the books? You know what I mean? Like that's a nice little loophole they put in there. RESP contributions are tax deductible. 3, is that a myth or a fact? 3, 2, 1. That's a myth. Contributions are not tax deductibles, but the earnings grow tax-free until you withdraw it.
So that means there's always tax, guys, like when you withdraw, when you go to use the money.
Mm-hmm.
But it is at a lower rate because it will be for children.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, a myth or fact? Only Canadian citizens qualify for RESPs. What do you guys think? 3, 2, 1. Myth. Any Canadian resident child with a social insurance number can have an RESP.
I just learned something new.
Me too.
Okay, that's awesome. That's good to know. As long as they have a SIN, they don't have to be a citizen. They could just be like a PR, permanent resident. You can still qualify for RESP and the government matching, which is cool.
Yeah, and free money. We love free money.
Free money once again. Let's go. There's no annual limit on RESP contributions. Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Fact. There is no annual limit, but there's a lifetime contribution limit of $50,000 per child.
Awesome. A myth or fact? If you don't max out contributions, you lose your grant eligibility. What do you think? Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. That is a myth. Unused CESG grant room can be carried forward to future years. If you don't use it this year, use it next year, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. All right, myth or fact? You have to invest all RESP funds in risky assets for growth. What do you guys think? Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Myth. RESPs can be invested in low-risk options like GICs or bonds, as well as other assets.
Absolutely. Like segregated funds, our favorite thing over here. They can also be invested in instead of those GICs. Depending on when you guys start saving in an RESP for a kid, should depend on what vehicle they're using. If you're starting at 0 years old and your kid's 0 and you have that 20 years, be in segregated funds, okay? Have time. You have 20 years to be on that market and to reap the benefits. GICs, let's say you start when they're, 10, middle age, and there's not a lot of time before they're about to head off to college in 8 years. Okay, GIC might make some sense, but I would still strongly consider the segregated funds option for sure.
Yeah. And with our companies and stuff, with it being like money managed by somebody, it definitely takes a little less risk out of it, and it's more appetizing in that sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
GICs, we always remind people that they don't typically beat inflation, so they don't make much of a difference. That's why we say the segregated funds is where it's at.
Absolutely. Okay, myth or fact, our last one regarding RESPs. Myth or fact, RESP earnings are always taxed heavily. Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Myth. Earnings are taxed in the child's hands, like we mentioned, often meaning little to no tax, depending on if they have an income that year that is taxable, right? So that's why there's a perk of you don't have to worry about you as a parent's tax bracket. It's going to be under the kids, so there's no problem, no issue. You're good. I love
Should we do a little intro before we go into our next segment?
That's literally what I was thinking. So
Great minds think alike.
yeah, I was like, look at the time. Okay, my turn. Okay. So we are the Money Savvy Sisters. I'm Jamaica, and these are my co-hosts, Jaylene and Genelva. And you can watch us live on JessTV via Roku TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, NCG Television Network, Twitter Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live on the Jess TV and Jess FM pages. If you missed the live, that's okay. You can catch us 24/7 on www.jessfm.ca. Please like our Jess TV pages and invite your friends to like them too and your family. We're going to share our Instagrams again for you guys, so you can find us on social media. Please feel free to reach out. We want to give you this education. We do not charge for our services. We are just excited to educate. Mine is Meica Miller, MEICAMILLER.
And mine's Genelva Gibbs, GENELVA GIBBSS.
And mine is Jaylene _Ferreira 17, JAYLENE _FERREIRA 17. Please reach out to us. We're so excited to be sharing all this amazing information with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go into tax shelters for your kids.
Yes, let's do
And
it.
so I'm going to go first. Myth or fact? Kids can't have a tax shelter account until they're adults. Myth or fact? Were you listening?
Were you listening?
3, 2, 1. That is a myth. We were just talking about RESPs, guys. They're available from birth. A tax-free savings account can be started at 18, and a tax shelter can be put in there or can be opened up from day 14. So right from the get-go.
Yes, I love that. When our kids are 14 days old, we'll be insuring them.
For sure.
Absolutely, I will be.
I know. Okay, I love that. All right, myth or fact? Tax shelter accounts are only for the wealthy. What do you guys think? Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Myth. Yes, even small contributions can lead to significant growth over time. Talk about building wealth and building a legacy. That's how you start it.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, if you guys have not read the book, The 10 Secrets Revenue Canada Doesn't Want You to Know, go read it, because tax shelters are secret number 8 in the book, guys. And we are doing our due diligence to make sure that more than just the 1%ers know about this tool and how to use it and how to take advantage of it and how to create generational wealth for your family, okay?
And it's the only other place in Canada where you can grow your money tax-free and deduct it tax-free.
Like a TFSA. So
Yeah.
you want to find out about that.
Do you want to pay taxes or no taxes?
No taxes.
Tell me. I feel like it's a no-brainer.
Right?
No one wants to pay taxes.
I give enough of my money to the government. Like,
They don't need no more, okay?
honestly.
Myth or fact? TFSAs don't benefit young people. Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Myth. Okay, starting a TFSA early can build long-term wealth and encourage saving habits, okay? 18, you better have a TFSA ASAP, right out the gate. Like, there's no playing around. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the time on your side, being 18 and starting to save.
And the cool thing about a TFSA is you get a certain amount of contribution throughout the year, and if you don't use it, you can bring it to the next year. And so just accumulate all that money that you could be growing. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
Okay, myth or fact? There are no limits on how much kids can contribute to a tax shelter account. There are no limits to how much kids can contribute to a tax shelter account. Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. It is a myth. RESPs have a 50,000 lifetime contribution limit, and TFSAs have an annual limit, but a tax shelter also have a limit to keep the policy tax exempt, but there's no actual limit that you can't put in there. Did I say that right?
Yeah,
that makes
you
sense,
did.
right?
So, like Nava says, that there's a limit if you want to keep the policy tax exempt, but you honestly don't have to listen to it. Just be subject to paying taxes on the over limit that you did. So, yes, she's correct.
Yeah, make sure you that's why it's important to sit down with a financial professional and really go over these ins and outs, and it's very, very clear from the start so you'll understand what your contributions are with a tax shelter. Now, a myth or fact, parents lose control of tax shelter account once a kid turns 18. This is a good one. What do you guys think? A myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Fact. TFSAs are controlled by the child at the age of 18, but parents can stay involved with an RESP decisions.
Correct. We love that. Just so you guys are all clear, a parent cannot start a TFSA for a child when they're under 18. So if a parent wanted to save in a TFSA for a child, they can use their own TFSA and their own contribution limit. But then that just takes away from you saving for your goals, whether it's retirement or whatnot. So keep that in mind in terms of TFSA. Kids, 18, use.
Yeah, and there's other areas you could save for your kid, for them specifically, until they get to age 18, and then they can take over and use that tool themselves.
Exactly. That's why a tax shelter is really great, because you can do that savings tax-free for your child and not have to be taking up the room on your own TFSA that you probably need to be utilizing for yourself anyways.
Correct. We love it. Okay, myth or fact? Tax sheltered accounts don't make sense for children. Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Myth. If you were listening today, starting accounts early helps kids avoid taxes and builds wealth over time for them. So I completely disagree with that statement. Tax sheltered accounts obviously make sense for children, okay? Get that out of your head if you're thinking the other way.
What wouldn't be good about a free place to grow money? I don't know. Okay, myth or fact? RESPs are the only tax shelter accounts that support education. Is that a myth or a fact? 3, 2, 1. That is a myth, guys. A tax-free savings account or a tax shelter can also be used to support education or other lifetime goals. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. Whatever works for you.
Yes. All right. Myth or fact? TFSA contributions are locked until retirement. Myth or fact? What do you guys think? 3, 2, 1. TFSA myth. TFSA withdrawals are flexible and tax-free for any life goal.
Exactly. Okay, myth or fact? Tax-free growth is a small benefit. 3, 2, 1. Myth. Over time, tax-free compounding can make a significant difference. I just gave you that example back there, and it was a $20,000 difference in the amount of money saved based on compound interest. So tax-free growth, amazing, beautiful, sweet benefit.
Great benefit.
I just want to mention something really quick.
Yeah.
Do you love your bank that much that you won't move your money because you could be missing out on $20,000. Do you love your bank that much? Like,
Damn.
go see if you can get your money working harder for you. It's
That's
it's
a good
worth it.
Yeah,
You
I feel
know?
like when it comes to allegiance and money, especially for institutions, like I'm not doing that. Like I'm going where my money's working the best and the
Yeah,
hardest because who has time to waste and play, you know?
absolutely.
Agreed. Me too.
Okay. Myth or fact? Withdrawals from these accounts hurt a child's future financial aid eligibility.
This is our
3,
last child tax shelter one.
3, 2, 1. That is a fact. Okay, RESP's withdrawals are considered, but a tax-free savings account won't affect your financial aid eligibility.
Yes.
This is true. But so what Nalva means by that is like student loans through the government. They will base it off of like, did your family have an RESP for you? How much are you using from it? They will base that off of how much aid you're going to get helped with the rest of the tuition or books that you need help with. So yes, RESP is considered. TFSA is not, which is good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to go into a little bit more on the critical illness side of things. So critical illness insurance for children. So myth or fact for this first one, critical illness insurance is unnecessary for kids. What do you guys think? We went over this. 3, 2, 1. Myth. Absolutely. Jamaica was frozen there for a second, so I was waiting. If it can offer financial support during serious illnesses, providing peace of mind. Obviously, we talked about the benefits of insuring your child early and benefits for the parents and having that peace of mind financially if something were to occur.
Yes. Okay. Myth or fact? Critical illness insurance only covers a few illnesses. 3, 2, 1. Myth. Many policies cover a dozen of illnesses, including major conditions. We mentioned this earlier. 25, 26 illnesses, 4 illnesses. Depends on what company you go with.
Yeah. Okay, myth or fact, critical illness payouts are restricted to medical expenses. 3, 2, 1. That is a myth, guys. Payouts can be used however the family needs for travel, accommodations, whatever your heart desires, whatever is going to make this time easier for you.
Absolutely. All right, myth or fact, critical illness coverage is expensive. What do you guys think? Myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Myth. Coverage for children can be quite affordable. It is definitely cheap compared to adults. But that's why it's amazing to work with brokers like us because we can make something fit in everyone's budget as we have access to many different companies. So don't be scared by thinking that something's too expensive. Sit down and get the real facts first.
Facts. Love that. Okay, myth or fact, insurance companies don't pay out on critical illness claims. 3, 2, 1. Myth. Claims are absolutely paid out when they meet policy conditions, benefiting many families, okay? And I can tell you that claim rates with all of the companies that we partner with are quite high for claims paying out. So you do have that peace of mind knowing, hey, this protection is going to pay me out. We 3 have also witnessed claims paid out in our past few years of working as brokers with our whole team across Canada. So we know they pay out. We know the money pays out.
Yes. And I've also had a client that had a payout, and it was from, he actually had a payout 7 years later after his critical illness, and they still paid it out.
Wild.
So that's a story there. Just so you know, they get paid out.
Yeah, they do. I don't really want to work in an industry that's crooked. I like to sleep at night without like that on my like spirit, you know, on my soul. I don't want that issue. So that's another reason why I'm like, yeah, this is legitimate. We're not just being like, give us your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We also have the same policies we give our clients. So why would we put our families and ourselves at risk as well as you guys in terms of companies that are not reputable, but we work with really, really reputable companies all across the country.
Absolutely.
Okay. Myth or fact, critical illness insurance is only necessary if you have a family history of illnesses. 3, 2, 1. That is a myth. Illnesses can occur without family history, so insurance provides security regardless what happens.
Absolutely. Things pop up. All right. Myth or fact, critical illness insurance is only for the elderly. All right. What do you guys think? 3, 2, 1. Myth, as we just went over, it does cover more than just elderly people. Serious illnesses can be affected at any age. So like we said, it can happen as young as a child, it can happen as an adult, and obviously if you're elderly as well, it's more likely. But these policies are great for all ages, and that's why we encourage you to get them for your kids when they're so young, so they can have that insurability for when it gets on to later life.
Yes. Okay. Myth or fact, only life-threatening illnesses are covered. 3, 2, 1. Myth. Many policies are also cover non-life-threatening conditions needing serious treatment, right? So not everyone that has a heart attack or stroke is at risk of passing away. They might still live another 20, 30, 40 years. So treatment might now be a serious cost, right? I know someone who had a heart attack in their 30s, and now the medication they're on yearly is almost $20,000 a year. Isn't that insane?
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Oh.
That's actually wild. Okay. Myth or fact, the
intro?
I said two more, guys. Let's go.
Literally had a brain fog there. Okay. Myth or fact, the policy benefits are only for healthcare costs. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh,
Why did I pull one up? That's a wrong question here. Okay, funds are unrestricted, giving parents flexibility for different needs.
All right, here we go. Myth or fact, critical illness insurance for children has no long-term benefits. This is a good one. What do you guys think? 3, 2, 1. Myth, yes, some policies can convert to adult coverage, maintaining future insurability, like we have mentioned. That's why it's important to get it young.
Yes. Okay, we're going into our last section here, which is life insurance for children.
We gotta do an intro first. Hold on.
Is it my turn? No, I just went.
I think it's my turn. Jaylene went.
Yeah, it's your turn. Yep.
I was like, huh?
Okay. Well, I'm Genelva, and these are my co-hosts, Jamaica and Jaylene, and we are the Money Savvy Sisters. You can watch us live on JessTV via Roku TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, NCG Television Network, Twitter Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, on the JessTV and JessFM pages. Or if you missed it, you can watch us 24/7 on JessFM.ca. That's www.JessFM.ca. Please like our JessTV pages and invite your friends to do it too. We're going to take a second to share our Instagrams here. Mine is Genelva Gibbs. That's GENELVA GIBBSS.
And mine is Meica Miller, MEICA MILLER.
And mine is Jaylene_Ferreira 17, JAYLENE_FERREIRA 17. Please reach out to us if you guys have any questions. Our services are free, and we're super passionate about education.
Yes. Okay, like I was saying, into our last myth and facts for life insurance for children. Okay, so myth or fact, life insurance for kids is morbid and unnecessary. 3, 2, 1. Myth, life insurance can secure insurability and build cash value for a future benefit. Duh.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Myth or fact? Life insurance only benefits the parents. 3, 2, 1. That's a myth. Policies can build cash value, providing financial benefits for the child later.
Yeah, and also if something happened, I'm pretty sure you'd want your parents to be there with you. So definitely benefits both.
Yeah.
Now, a myth or fact, kids don't need life insurance. What do you guys think? Myth or fact?
What did we
3,
talk about today?
2, 1. Myth. Yes, some parents buy it for future insurability, like we did mention. That's a big reason why you should get life insurance, or the investment portion side of things and having that permanent policy, taking advantage of that, also protecting yourself in case something did happen.
Love it. Okay, myth or fact? Only wealthy families should buy life insurance for their children. 3, 2, 1. Myth. Life insurance for kids can be affordable and beneficial for any income level, no matter what you make. Like Jaylene said, this is why you work with a broker, because we literally have access to so many companies that have affordable options for everyone. You guys, you can make it work no matter what your budget is, okay?
And this is how we pass down generational wealth.
Yep.
So this is how we get wealthy. And that's not just for the wealthy. We get wealthy this way.
Yes, I like that.
Okay, myth or fact? It's better to wait until the child is older to get insurance, to get life insurance. 3, 2, 1. That is a myth. Getting life insurance early locks in a lower premium and future insurability. So get them young so that you can get the price low.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget. Like, no one's invincible. We could be losing kids at 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. It's crazy, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know someone that has. So next myth or fact we have is all life insurance policies for children are the same. What do you guys think about that? 3, 2, 1. Myth. Yes, of course. We mentioned that, there are term whole life policies, and there's also universal life. So there's differences to them, and also they're customizable, making sure that you're fitting those clients' needs. So everyone's policy does look different.
Yes. Myth or fact, child life insurance doesn't have any tax benefits. 3, 2, 1. Myth. Permanent life policies grow tax deferred, providing tax advantages that we talked about earlier today. So, yes, they do provide tax advantages, tax benefits.
Yes. Okay, myth or fact? Only term life insurance is available for kids. 3, 2, 1. That is a myth, guys. We talked about tax shelters. Both term and whole life insurance are available. With whole life, you can build cash values, those tax shelters we were talking about.
Yes. Take advantage of that. Very big deal. All right. Myth or fact, insurance companies won't pay out for a child's life insurance claim.
We talked about this, guys.
Yeah, we've had this actually happen. What do you guys think, myth or fact? 3, 2, 1. Myth. We actually have paid out claims to a family that have lost children. So insurance companies do pay out claims. I mean, you got the insurance to have a claim payout if something happens. So for sure, definitely sit down and make sure that you talk to your financial professional. But the companies that we partner with are very reliable and do pay out claims.
Yes. And last but not least, myth or fact, there's no need for life insurance if you already have critical illness coverage. 3, 2, 1. Myth. Life insurance and critical illness insurance or coverage offer different benefits and complement each other. They complement each other, guys. This is the way I like to put it for our clients is you can get sick in life, you can get hurt in life or injured, and we're all going to pass away. And so therefore, critical illness, disability, life insurance. They all complement each other. They protect your income, but they also protect your family. So
Yes.
you don't need just one or the other. You need all of them.
Yes.
You need all of them. So let us know how much you got right in the comment section. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I got all of them right. but yeah, we want to hear how you guys did, what was surprising to you, what you learned, all of the deets.
Yes. Now, again, please reach out to us. We're so excited to share this information with you guys. I'm going to do an outro here to end off the night, but my name is Jaylene, and these are my co-hosts, Meica and Genelva. We are the Money Savvy Sisters. You can watch us here live on JessTV every single Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. PST, 8:30 MST, via Roku TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, NCG Television Network, Twitter Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and YouTube Live on JessTV and JessFM pages. Or if you can't catch our live, that's okay. You can watch us 24/7 on www.jessfm.ca. Please like our JessTV page and invite your friends to like it too. We are going to share our Instagrams. Like we have mentioned, our services are free. We're very passionate about educating and making sure that we're taking care of our fellow Canadians. So please reach out to us. I'm going to start with my Instagram. It is Jaylene_Ferreira 17, JAYLENE_FERREIRA 17.
Mine is Meica Miller, MEICAMILLER.
And mine is Genelva Gibbs, GENELVAGIBBS. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great day or night.
Next week.
See you next week.